Hi, Pile 1. So let's get started on your reading. Okay, so Pile 1, you have the overall message of push and open the shop. So push toward that goal or that dream and open the shop. So I'm going to do a SWOT analysis, but it's going to be an intricate SWOT analysis in regards to your business, what's happening, if there's any wounding. It could be spiritual or energetic wounds, or just in total, either a mother or a father wounding on a spiritual level. And so how to move forward, with your next steps. Okay, so with this particular pile, I got there's more so of a father wounding. And when I meditated on what kind of father wound was happening, it brought me back to a time, just to give me an understanding of the depth. It brought me back to a time where I remember I went to my father's house and he was explaining to me about stature and status. And he said, unless you are of a certain weight or you make a certain amount of money, be prepared to share your partner, right? So there was always this concept of, if I come across a really good person who is high in stature, then I was going to have to share him. And it took a lot of work, psychological work, to pretty much remove that idea from my mind, because he told me this at a very impressionable age. So the wounding here is the value in which maybe a father figure or someone that you have looked up to, and what they think your life is going to be because of the circumstances they see at the very present moment, right? And so this could be maybe on a physical level, but psychologically, this could be the reason for maybe you should open up, maybe you should wait, maybe you should start your business, but maybe there's a lot of you have a really great idea that's meant to come out into the world, but because of what was said to you and who said it, the need to push forward to make sure you go through with this is a lot harder because of the thoughts that you are facing in your subconscious mind. And so we're going to just talk about that today in regards to your business and the next step. So pile 1, before I get into your cards, the value of how a father figure sees you or saw you is the value you hold for personal business or for your business ventures or endeavors. And God's source could be asking you to alter that perception, because whatever the perception that was put on you, or whatever impression that was put on you about money, business, and your personal worth of who you are, especially in regards to how you look, is not true. Okay, so let's get started. So for your SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your attributes, and potential threats, the first card you have is Talk About Esther, and that's from my knowledge card. I have 2 Talk About Esther cards, okay? One is based on the knowledge, and if you see the card, it appears like it's Lakshmi in front of a bunch of books, and the other card is a military card, okay? This one is the one with Lakshmi appearing in front of a whole set of books, but it's kind of translucent, right? Transparent, because it's not like a solid form. So there's something, and this is in regards to your startup. So there's something that you are forming, you are acquiring the knowledge, and you have to know that you possess not just beauty on a physical level, but the cause into which you are starting this business in the first place is going to be for the people, and it's going to have a positive impact on people who have been put in positions like you, or was told that you can only go as far as the imagination of your father figure, or whoever this person is. And so we want to recreate that scenario. And there's something about I keep seeing in my mind, rewrite your past. So there's something about rewriting the past, or past revision. You can do a past revision meditation, and this will help you to relieve anything that was holding you back, or what you felt like was the reason you had to be held back, right? So as an example, I thought that because my father said that at an impressionable age, that meant that I was only supposed to attract a particular type of man. He could be well in stature, or he could not be in stature, but either way I was going to have to be shared, right? And I had to completely remove that energy from me, because what started to happen was I was attracting men outside of what my father said I was, just destined to attract if I stayed within a certain weight, if I stayed within a certain stature of life, or a certain way of thinking. And I started to push those men away, right? Like suitors that would be better for me, that would provide a healthy relationship. I started to push those suitors away. And then I started to pull in all the ones who, were willing to put me in third-party situations, because according to my father, that's what I was supposed to be in. So it switched, right? It took a while for me to switch to that, because, my gosh, because, my father's words were everything to me. So, but you have everything. I wanted to tell you, you have everything in your power to push through, open up this business, do the negotiations. You're just as smart as any other businessman or businesswoman in a corporate office, maybe even smarter. And this is a matter of just believing in yourself, right? Pushing forward, pushing through. Okay, so the weakness that we have in regards to your SWOT analysis is computer versus creator, who wins? And that's upright. For the attributes, we have the trophy card, and it says invest in a date with your love today in order to seal this successful deal. So you could be in partnership with someone, or you could be, I feel like you could be married already. And so you're wondering if this is a good investment, like the investment you want to do with your actual partner is a good investment. This is not for everybody, but specifically for the person you're married to, yes, it is a good investment. And your opposing threat is talk about Esther. But this is the military card, and it came out in reverse. Okay, so that one, we got the light versus the dark. I'm seeing all white cat, and I'm seeing an all black cat, and they're facing each other. And it's one of the collages that I did, like when I was just trying to, get my creativity out. And so it's two cats, and one's completely white, one's completely black, and they're facing each other, right? And also, you could also resonate with Sekhmet, and you could resonate with Egyptian mythology, or this happens. This could be a result of what has transpired during certain time frames. And then I'm also seeing ancient Egypt, and I'm also seeing the New Kingdom. So there's something very specific about that timeline and where you resonate. Okay, so the white and the black cat, right? I feel like this is a reflection of you. And I feel that this startup, it's like the light aspects of yourself is just like, yes, we can do this, we can push through, we can be the best, insert what your business is, business that the world has ever seen. You can see it from that perspective, and then you go on and you push through, and you try to execute with the light aspect. And then there's also a part of you, it's like the more successful you become, or the more you start to see your own success, just in starting up the business or starting up the proposal or drafting up a proposal, this shadow aspect of you comes into play, and it's just like, well, are you sure? Because remember when so and so told you this? Remember when your father told you this, or remember when he said that, or when you worked in a predominantly male business and they closed the door on you several times. Are you sure you want to do this? And part one, you're sure you want to do this, and not only are you sure you want to do this, but you're going to be very successful. There's a need to not push away the people who are genuinely supporting you. I feel like there is for some who will resonate with this pile. You are in a relationship, or you are in a partnership, or you're married, and I see your person wanting to support you through and through, but it's just like you have to allow them to support you. It's takes two to tango. Takes two to tango. So 7-Eleven is significant. So I'm seeing 7-Eleven twice on both my my oven and my microwave. So 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven. I don't know why that's convenient. But okay, so you have to let your husband or your partner support you. And doing this, investing in this date with your love today is going to be successful. So having to deal with that aspect of yourself, the shadow aspect of yourself, is just what your father used to say, right? Or the things your father or father figure, whoever this is, would impress upon you and impress upon your subconscious mind. Like, you got, like, let's say, because I'm hearing somebody tell someone, you got to be the best. If you're not the best, then what's the point, right? And so, but it's just like, think about all the trophies, all the awards, all the recognition that was given to you up until that point, right? And so you can look at that space with your father figure from a place of, he was just trying to allow me to be the best version of myself. But okay, so now you've gotten to that point. You have become the best version of yourself. Now, what's your definition, right? Because this holding on, I feel like there's a holding on to something, holding on to what somebody said, how they said it. And it's like this energy of, I gotta prove them wrong, I gotta prove them wrong. But just you being as successful as you are right now proves them wrong, right? And it's really not about who's wrong or who's right, but it gives you the idea that just because somebody has an idea or a definition of how your life should turn out in business or in finance and relationships doesn't mean that you have to make it stick, right? It takes for you and your subconscious mind. You have to allow this person to leave that kind of impression on you, to make you feel like, well, you know what? This person is right, and if I don't listen to this person, bad things are going to happen. And it's not the case, right? So it's just the talk about Esther in reverse as to like your potential threats. It's just your shadow aspect that knows essentially it has to be integrated into the light, and it's having a hard time doing so because these words have been lingering around for so long. These phrases, whomever has said, has been lingering or living in your mind for so long. And it's almost like you forgot, like a book on a shelf, right? You read it once and it had an impact on you, and it was just like, well, and then you left it there, not thinking that you have to clear that book. So it's like that book is in your mind, the book of what your father has said to you through and through and through and through and through. And so if you can just take that book out, and you don't even have to at this point like go through the pages, right? Because you already know what's been said. But if you can take that book out, and even to the point like you can replace it with a new book, you can replace it with your words of affirmation instead. It's like replacing those logs and those words and those phrases that were said to you with more positivity. And that's going to allow you to move forward, not just in relationships, business, but as a whole. And it'll heal the father wound that is residing within you. Okay, so Can we clarify computer versus creator? Who wins? Okay, so the card that came out was you're experiencing the love of a high-ranking earth angel. Don't anger them. Yeah. Okay. Again. Right, it comes from a level of support. I get where it's coming from because it's just like it's the energy of when you hear the things that you're not accustomed to hearing on like a supportive level. Again, there's like a push away, right? It's just like, who are you to tell me I can do it? Who are you to tell me I can be successful? Who are you to tell me but that's not what so and so said. That's not what he said. That's not what they said. Who are you to say X, Y, and Z? So it's definitely like a push pull, right? So it's just like now you've come to the point where it's another spiritual awakening. And so who are you to tell me? Like, who are you to tell me that I can be successful? Who are you to tell me that I could be prosperous? It's the reflection of you, right? Of the God in you appearing as a reflection to remind you that you can be everything you set out to be. You can do everything you set out to do, and you can have everything you set out to have, right? So, let's see. Is there anything else you need to know? Talk about Esther in reverse. Can we talk about this shadow aspect? All right, the answer you seek resides in the rock's arch of history. So this is one of my decision maker cards. And if you look at this card, right, this, like, it's a decision maker upright. This is a man who moves the masses. He's well-traveled. Polygamy could be a thing here because I'm seeing 3 rings, right? So maybe something's gonna be offered to you, okay? And there's another deal because this is like a last attempt sort of to pull you back into your old way of thinking about what was said to you, which is the reason why there is a father wound residing, or was, because I feel like once you finish this read, you're going to do the work to remove that father wound. But all right, so let's see. Okay, you go off, you start off your business, and you're just going to be like, you know what, I'm going to be successful. You're going to use, there's something about ChatGPT also. You could use somebody or a computer or AI assistant to cut the workload in half, okay? Like, well, more than half, because now I'm seeing like 60% in my mind. So more than half. Cut this workload. Tell your partner, whoever is investing in you, or you know, your spouse, whomever this is, look, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do this. And they're going to be very supportive. At first, it's going to feel it's going to feel new to you, right? I didn't want to say cringeworthy, but it's going to feel new to you because whereas you were pushing the support and saying, okay, fine, I'll take it. Now you're accepting it, but you're accepting it with a sense of like, yes, it's okay. I deserve to be helped. I deserve to be appreciated. I deserve to be supported and loved. Okay? This happens. Something comes in. Talk about Esther is in reverse. So I can also see this as a second deal. An opposing deal comes in. Okay? Now this opposing deal could be from a masculine energy. It could actually be from a decision maker who, you know, probably has more than one wife. I don't know. But in this case, right, the answer you seek resides in the rock's arch of history. Somebody knows you, okay? They know who you're destined to be, but they also know who you were, okay? So somebody could be trying to come in and make a deal with you off your, I want to quote unquote this, ugly truths, okay? Somebody feels like you're not going to refuse this offer because you and this person have had a history of sharing quote unquote ugly truths. All right, so let's go into this aspect because I feel like this energy is not going to be here for much longer, but let's clarify this. Because I see the deal whatever the right deals you were supposed to make are already being made. This is like a final attempt or a last hurrah to get you back in this mind frame of, I can only be as good as my father says. I can only be as good as these men say. I can only be as good as this person, predicted for my life. I don't know. Like this is definitely like an energy that's trying to hold you back and stop you from believing in yourself. And I feel like it's not going to work. So let's clarify this part. All right. I see. Okay, guys. All right, part one. Now we got some juice. Okay. So the card that came out was, this person has a really good heart and will treat you with kindness. That's in reverse. This deal comes in because somebody wants to maintain the control. If you come out with this business, I'm just going to own X, Y, and Z amount of the company. Because remember when you did this? Remember when your insert quote unquote ugly truth here? Remember when you did this? Yeah, so I'm going to need about this new company that you're coming out with. I'm going to need about 50, 60%. You're going to tell this person no. And you're going to say no to the point. This is a means of standing up to the person who always tried to put you in like this snow globe energy. I'm going to make it all nice and calm. And then when I feel like you're really calm and you're really peaceful and you're really successful and you're making a lot of money, I'm just going to shake this shit up. Like I'm going to shake the globe. I'm going to make sure that it's like such a whirlwind that by the time it settles down, the only person you'll think about and you'll see is me. That's not going to work this time. Okay? I see this person trying to use the same old tactics. It doesn't work. Okay? So, in order for a person like this to remain powerful in your life, they would have to have a certain amount of leverage, a certain amount of pull in your life. Do not allow a person to have present pull in your life if you know they're a part of your history and you know that with the present moment, you don't want them to be a part of it, right? You don't want their mindset, the way they think, to be a part of it. So I see you detaching, because I literally, as I was talking, I moved these cards down. So I see you detaching from whoever this masculine energy is that wants you to feel less of yourself. You should not feel this way. You should not, because you're still not considered the best. You're the best of the best at what you do, or you're about to be. So just remove this idea that this person is supposed to be here or they're supposed to be benefiting off of the benefits of you, the fruits of your labor, because they're a father figure, because they watched you grow up, because they gave you advice, because they know your quote unquote ugly truths. Okay, let's close out the reading. Okay, so 2 cards that came out. Another decision-making card. Another decision-making card came out. Says, make love to me tonight, and you will cease many future wars. But I see that being in reverse, and something needs to be asked. The other card that came out was the Shiva card. So something needs to be asked bluntly without cruelty. And the card is like Shiva, and like Shiva's going within Shiva that's going within Shiva, right? So it's like there's something in the deep depths of your subconscious that you have to ask yourself, and you have to be gentle about it, okay? Because you're so used to a particular approach and how people talk to you and how people treat you, and they want to make it seem like, I'm just being real. You know, like the people who give you a backhanded compliment and then they put it or like pair it next to, I'm just being honest, I'm just being real. No, you're being mean, right? So it's like you can go within and you don't have to be mean to yourself. You could just be honest, right? But you can be honest and you can ask the question nobody really wants to ask out loud, because there is a level of fear here. Somebody may fear that you may push them away. They may fear that you may take it the wrong way. So you have to ask yourself this question, okay? Part one, that's your reading. Hey, part two. Okay, so let's get started on your reading. So the image that you're going to see is going to be the earth angel. It appears like an angel, and the angel is in front of the gates of heaven. I'm closing my eyes because I'm trying to remember how I did it. Because sometimes when I create these pictures from my mind, I do it so fast and I'll hold the memory, but then it's just like, it's the details too. Okay. So this angel is holding a globe. She's holding a glass globe, but the glass globe is filled with the earth, and the earth has a heart that was once, broken, being mended. So it's like healing the earth. So I said, okay, this person has to be like earth angel, right? An energy healer, if you don't like the term earth angel, because some people, they prefer, so they prefer different things. So, but yeah, I saw this earth angel having the earth in the palm of her hands, and she overlooked it and she was healing it. Now there were things overlooking her as well, right? So I put this big blue eye. Guys, don't ask me why, but I put this big blue eye and I put pyramids, right? Like from empire to empire to empire to empire. You've just helped build and create empires upon empires. So I said, wow. So whoever this pile is for is like, you are an energy healer, earth angel that has come down to build and repair empires, but like structures built for all the right reasons, right? And then at the bottom, it says in loving memory of, because the angel's on top of the in loving memory of, and then right under it, it says of Maya. So in loving memory of this illusion of the world, right? So it's like you're bringing the truth. You being here brings the truth to the earth and helps to create and build the empires necessary and needed in order to ensure that the earth not only thrives but heals as a whole. Okay, so let's do a SWOT analysis for you and get started. First card is, I can give you everything you've been missing. You just have to trust me. Let me in and trust me, please. Okay, and that's my Nefertiti card. So that's your strength. Your strength is people turn to you, people trust you, people acknowledge the fact that I wanted to say you come in peace. So I can see that as somebody can look at you and feel like your beauty or your destiny or your what you do for the world is out of this world. Like you have outer worldly beauty. Like you cannot fathom the beauty like that's within you and that exudes out of you, right? So the weakness here is this queen is on a rampage. Use that to your advantage. It's lucrative. It makes a statement. Apply pressure, push buttons, make a scene. They'll catch on. Checkmate, right? But this is in reverse. And the attributes that you have is this B2B is more profitable as a B2C, business to business, from business to business to business to consumer, okay? Adjust quickly. Okay, so maybe there's I wanted to say active service, so I'm going to stick with it. There's an active service that you want to provide or you are providing to a mass of people. And in turn, this is healing the earth or healing the empires of many people's worlds and you want to make it more personal. Maybe you want clients now. It's a good time to have clients, right? That's a good investment to have. And you can also venture out. Like, let's say if you were working with just one particular business, right? It's okay to work with that business, but you can also do a personal one-on-one. So I'm seeing like personal one-on-one sessions. Like, it's going to be more lucrative if you do like that approach with your business. Like, I can work with you one-on-one. I can guide you one-on-one, you know. Yeah, it's just going to be more beneficial. And your potential threats, the last part is, thou hast to do with thy youth. Your beauty will not ever fade, only enhance, but that's in reverse. So, pile 2, the wound that you have here is the mother wound, right? And I said, okay, well, what kind of mother wound is happening here, right? And then I saw a part of my childhood when I remember I walked into the living room and I was talking to my brother, and my mom was sitting down by the dining table, and she looked at me, and it was like the look was indescribable, right? But she looked at me and she said, you're the one who breaks it. You break the cycles and the curses, and like you break all of that, right? And once she said that, I remember her sizing me up, and for the first time, I saw what jealousy looked like on another woman. And I captured that image in my mind from the time I was a child. Now, even though she was my mom, yes, and I loved her dearly, and I'm sure she loved me, there was a moment where we had that mutual understanding that it was a feel of, why couldn't it be her, and why did it have to be me, right? So you could be dealing with that energy of, maybe you have a mother figure, or you had a mother figure, because for some it could be different. It could be like your mother's still present, and then for others, like your mom's at a distance, and then for some it's like, well, your mom is not here on the earth anymore, right? And so you could be dealing with a mother figure that or it doesn't even have to be your mother, right? But somebody who is like jealous of you, and it's just like, well, why does it have to be you? Like, why do you have to be the ones to do X, Y, and Z? 7:33 on my clock. But somebody feels like it should be them, or it could have been them. Now, for your weaknesses, the queen is on a rampage. That's in reverse. So automatically I took it as a masculine energy. So the king, somebody is not happy with the fact that you are being supported. Okay. Despite everything, despite the attempts, because in my mind I saw many attempts. So despite the many attempts, like, somebody would rather you be hidden. It gives me like a Cinderella vibes. So it's like Cinderella and the stepmother and the stepsisters. It's like, go in the house and clean and cook and attend to us. Like, don't ever see that you're capable of being one of us, let alone a princess, let alone like somebody of royalty, you know? And so having to deal with that and adjusting to that, maybe adjusting the way that you perceive yourself because of how other women perceive you, or men who have made many attempts to make sure you stay as Cinderella, like, you know? So let's clarify this. Let's clarify the queen is on a rampage in reverse. All right. You have healed my heart. So a decision maker card came out. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to remember you guys can't see the card sometimes, okay? Sometimes I just have the image. But the card that came out was a decision maker card, and it says, "You have healed my heart, and tonight I want all of you." All right, so part two, I see this as maybe you were dealing with somebody who could not see your worth. They could not see your value, and then a prince comes along, right? And it doesn't have to be like literal. It could be, but maybe somebody who's much more suitable for you, okay, comes along and they want to give you the world. They want to give you everything and more. And they're looking for you because they know you're the only one who's going to fit this glass slipper. Okay? You're the only one who's going to fit this glass slipper and nobody else will do. No matter who tries to put their foot in your shoe, no matter who tries to replace you, Pautu, you cannot be replaced. You are literally irreplaceable, not only to whoever this person is, that's this decision maker is that's looking at you, but to the world, right? And it's just like, you think about all the reasons why a person would want the stature of being the prince's right hand or being the prince's spouse. Like, think about all the money and the power and stuff that comes with that. You don't look at it from that perspective. You just look at it from a perspective of, if this person will be kind and will love me and will treat me with respect and allow me to do the same, X, Y, and Z, fine, no problem. Everything else is just a bonus. So there is a masculine energy that I feel like did not want you to see your worth or did not want this like prince discovering you. I feel like you get discovered by somebody, and it's just like, it's where it's beneficial to you and this person because you can actually come into union with the what would be the spiritual or the universe or God's love that God would want you to have. This person is just like, somebody never thought you were gonna just come out of being in the Cinderella mode, and they never thought you'd come out of this idea of you're only supposed to be loved as much as you can provide specifically for me. And there's a masculine energy here, even though there's a mother wounding. So I feel like with this masculine energy, somebody like, there's a man that looks at you and they see their mother, or they see their relative, or they see the woman that broke their heart, and they're looking at you like, that's why you don't deserve to have what you have, because you're this, you're that, you're the other. And that's trauma coming from whomever that person is. That person's trauma has nothing to do with you. So, because you still get discovered by this person anyway, right? You still get the offer by this person anyway. And I see this person trying to, in the many attempts that this person tries to block you from this person, they actually propel you guys forward, right? So, and somebody just, it's like, I also see somebody just wanting to hoard all your healing energy to themselves, but they don't want to put into you. They don't want to support you. They don't want to provide for you. They just want all your healing capabilities. They want to feel healed and revived. And they want to just throw you in a basement until they're ready for more energy. Like, it's kind of creepy the way this person is looking at you. But this person gets removed. So we're going to go to your attributes. Your B2B is more profitable as a B2C. This person also could put you on to like business endeavors and clientele. And what this is this is divinely guided. So I'm zooming in my mind on the blue eye that's in the picture. This is divinely guided. And it's also like nobody's going to take this away from you. Okay? Like, let's say you get word of this reading. All right? And the person who watches and stalks your social media and just wants to be all up in your phone and all in your business, they get word of this reading too. And they say, all right, well, this person's coming in. I'm going to do my best to block this person, make sure this person's not this, they're not that, they're not the other. This person gets completely removed. Like, there is this energy of This person is busy out here trying to help people heal and help the world heal as a whole, and you just want to hoard all their good energy and just treat them like trash. No, you could go, right? So that's what's happening here. And for the threats, the potential threats, it's like when you get to this point where you can see the observable universe's perspective of how you have healed the world, don't overlook it, right? So it's just like, don't overlook the beauty that you provide because of what you have been through or because of the many depths you have seen in one's definition of, I'm going to do this because I'm jealous of you. I'm going to do this because I feel like I should have it and you should not have it. Like when you finally get to that point where you get to observe your work from the perspective of God or God in you, like don't just see it as, oh, it's just work. No, like you did that. Like it took a lot of bravery. It took a lot of humility. It took a lot of humiliation. It took a lot, right, to get to this point. So give yourself credit to where credit is due. Let's see. What do I have to clarify here? All right, so you control my tempo, you can run my show, musician in love. That's in reverse. This person that did not want you to see the beauty of who you are, they could be a musician or a former musician, because musician in reverse is like maybe they were once a musician, but they're not anymore. Somebody wanted to take the essence of the beauty away from you, but they wanted to start with the wound. They wanted to start with the mother wound, and then they wanted to go into the mind, right? So it would have been God, like thank God it's not, but it would have been a continuous vicious cycle of, hey, you're not this, right? Or don't think about the work you've done. Just look at what you don't have. Look at what you don't look like, right? And so that idea is like completely removed from you. It's like you finally get to see you from the eyes of the divine realm, and it's a beautiful sight. And that's you, right? Because you have broken the illusion of how the world was supposed to be perceived. You've broken all types of stigmas and stereotypes just by being who you are. So I say build your clientele because it's going to be really profitable, and helping other people to grow their empires is going to be a very lucrative business for you. And I'm very proud of you, pal, too. You know, it takes a lot. And so let's close out your reading. So transmute your hate and resentment into forgiveness. You are most welcome. That's in reverse. Whatever hatred this person was throwing towards you, or this mother figure, or a masculine energy, whomever this is that was throwing all this towards you, hate yourself, don't hate the world, don't like what you've done for the world, don't be a healer, don't be this, don't be save a person, don't exude your light, don't shine your light, dim it, just constantly dim it. Whoever this person is, transmute all of that energy that they are throwing towards you into forgiveness, into more love, into more peace on a worldly scale, universal scale, multiverse scale, right? And this is what completely takes this person out of the picture, right? Another form of detachment. Like I see you having to just detach from this idea that because somebody is jealous of you, because a person does not want you to see your beauty, you're just supposed to be one way. You're supposed to dim your light. You're not supposed to let the world see who you actually are. You're meant to be seen, Paltu. And not just be seen, but you're meant to prosper, right? It's not a matter of, man, it's not a matter of just doing something because you feel like it's like best. It's the best because, you don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. Your light is supposed to make people very uncomfortable. You know why? Because it's going to agitate a lot of the dark aspects of themselves to the point they can either conform to the darkness and stay in a dim lit room they have put in themselves, or they can ignite the spark or the light within themselves and they can move forward and they can help other people see their light. One or two things, right? You're either going to be really liked and really respected or really hated. But at those moments where you know you are really hated, transmute it into more love. One more card. Equations are not invented. They are discovered in reverse. The right people are going to add to you, and the people who never had the best intentions are going to be subtracted from your life permanently. That's your reading, Pile 2. All right, Pile 3, let's get started on your reading. Okay. So let's see. First and foremost, before I go into this reading, Chadwell Supplies is very significant, right? And I said, well, I don't know what Chadwell Supplies is. Let me look it up. It's a company that supplies housing, appliances, and supplies. And then I had I wanted to look at something like the words, but the VPN was from a different country, so the words were of the language of the VPN where it was based. And I said, okay, let me switch this out. Germany can be very significant. And and the other thing about Chadwell Supplies is it's a privately owned company. So there is also something about affiliations with housing, supplies, and appliances in Germany. That is very significant. Now, you may get a proposal from a private owned company and they may need help, your expertise in something. It could be trading. They may need your expertise in a trading, what they're going to do with their company. I see you being picked and selected for them to do this trade, and I'm seeing a really, really huge profit, right? But it's the way that you do something. That's the only reason they can pull in this amount of money. So they come to you, and though it's not openly traded, they're coming to you for the inside help. Can you do this for our can you do this for our company, even though it's not, for public trading purposes? So they're going to want you to take the reins, and these people will not move, right? This company and their workers will not move or will not do what it is that's supposed to be done next unless you say it's supposed to be done next, okay? So this, when I was meditating on this and I was selecting the cards and I was writing down in my journal, I said, Pile 3, I don't know who Pile 3 is, but this is a very, very spiritual read. And I said, okay. So it was like my higher self preparing me for this, okay? The reason why I say it's a very, very spiritual read is because I got a scripture from the Bible. And the verses into which I put it there on the picture, right? And the parable of the signet ring, right? And it says, you were chosen. right? And that's what stuck out to me the most. Like, you were chosen. Like, somebody has chosen you. Now, the wounding here is the father wound, but not from a space of, oh, I don't like my dad, I dislike my dad, dislike my grandfather, my father's father, right? It's not that kind of wound. All right, let me see if I could best explain this the way I know how. So, what I had to write down was to love your father in his entirety means you love the man that raised him, right? Some people, they keep it surface level. Oh, that means I love my grandfather. I gotta love my grandfather. Okay, who raised your grandfather? Who raised your grandfather's grandfather? And your grandfather's grandfather? And your grandfather's grandfather? Like, I'm gonna keep asking until it goes back to the source, right? God. Now, the father wound here is not so much that it's physical, but it is trying to figure out how to put this. All right, so let's say Jesus, right? Jesus, his father, right? God, Son, the Holy Spirit, okay? And so I'm supposed to pose the question, well, who's God's father? And who's God's grandfather, right? Do we know these questions on an earthly realm? No. But I feel like Power 3, you know, right? I mean, you can teach people how to trade something. You can teach people how to go within and, do everything that they need to do to manifest. But you know who God is. This is why you got chosen. And now the example I'm supposed to use is Napoleon Hill, right? And I remember I was watching a video on YouTube, and Napoleon Hill, there is a moment where he says, Andrew Carnegie, or he says Carnegie, I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. Carnegie, I hear Carnegie, he says Carnegie. So either or, take how it resonates. But he said Andrew Carnegie, or Carnegie, chose him. And he said he could not understand why, of all the people this man could have chose, he chose Napoleon Hill, right? I feel like you are chosen to do what has to be done for humanity because you can handle it, right? And so the father wound, for a lot of people, they think it starts from a physical perspective. My father was this, my father was that, my grandfather was this, my grandfather was that. But it goes much deeper. When you think about the mother wound, right? You think about childbirth, anything from childbirth to how the child is created. What happens, what transpires between those two parents before they conceive, post when the baby is born, right? That in itself, that idea in itself, not just postpartum depression, but that idea in itself is a wound, right? So it's like having to go within not just the depths of self, but having to go back to the origin of time, the universe itself. And it's like you discovering, okay, here is where the wound is. Because you discover that on your own, this is why you are chosen. There is a much deeper truth that is in you, resides in you, and only you have that information, okay? So before I get to thing, let's get started on your reading. So let's see, first card. You have completely changed this person's life for the better, and they want to thank you in person. Okay? Second card is the hidden message card. Oh, the first card was a decision maker card. So this is a highly influential person, somebody who moves the masses. They want to thank you in person. A lot of conspirators, but it's the quote unquote nobody that knows exactly what happened. Mastermind. Next card is in a world full of birds, stay sharp and listen. And the last card is the Ma'at card that says they will be left behind. They couldn't see your worth. It's too late if they do now. So these are strengths, weaknesses, attributes, and potential threats. Okay. Weaknesses, because this is the first card is self-explanatory. Somebody's coming in, decision maker, highly influential person's coming in. They want to thank you. Oh, because of you, my business did X, Y, and Z amount of numbers. Thank you so much for this trading advice, or thank you so much for this, this consultation. It really helped me, X, Y, and Z. Somebody on a much grander scale, right? Then who's typically not your average everyday client, but you don't see them like that. You don't see them like, oh yeah, this person is like really up there at the top. And you just see them as a person who wants to grow their business, who needs to do X, Y, and Z, and they know that you acquire the knowledge that they need in order to propel forward. That person, they want to thank you in person. Okay. So a lot of conspirators, but it's the nobody who knows exactly what happened. Part 3, you may consider yourself to be just like an average person. Like, I don't know much of anything. I'm just, like maybe you said somewhere along the lines like, oh, I'm just a nobody. But I'm here to tell you, no, not that you're. It's not that you're a nobody. It's just you are a lifesaver, right? Because the reason I created this card, as I always mention in my previous readings, I was reading a book called Promise Boys. And so the Promise Boys, 3 men from this prestigious school, they get accused of murder, right? And so they have to do their own investigation because left up to the school system, they're just going to be imprisoned and they're going to go to jail knowing that they didn't commit the crime. So they had to take it upon themselves. All right, we need to do X, Y, and Z. We need to figure out who did it so none of us go to jail. So they formed a team, right? And they came together. They were each other's allies. And so come to find out, it was the quote-unquote nobody, and he remained as the nobody in the book, right? And when he described it, it made so much sense. It's just like, because when you're a nobody, nobody's looking for you, like nobody's looking at you. So it's like he didn't want the attention, he just wanted what he could provide on a grander scale, right? And so anywho, they come to this guy. So they come to this guy because they find like photos, okay? They find photos of the principal in his locker, and they automatically assumed it has to be him because, and even in the book, the way it's written, it gives like really like off vibes. Like, yeah, why does he have like pictures of the principal in his locker, right? And so come to find out, the nobody in the book, the reason why he had these pictures is because he was doing his own investigation, because he wanted the principal to invest in a program where he could, zone in on his niche, and he could do his cinematography and do his video and his editing. You could be a video editor also, or like audio and video creator, content creator could be significant, but zoomed in, right? And he wanted to know where this money was going because he knew the principal was receiving millions of dollars in sponsorships. He was receiving a whole, mad money, okay? So he was receiving a lot of money. So he wanted to know where the money was going. So he took all these pictures as proof, as evidence, right? Come to find out, Once they found out the truth, they said, is there any way? They went from looking at this guy like, no, it had to be you. You're the reason why X, Y, and Z is happening. You have to be the person who did it. And he was just like, it's so sad, right? But he understood, the quote unquote nobody understood from a place of compassion where they were coming from, because these men did not want to go to jail. So, okay. So, long story short, they went from turning on him and saying, oh, it must be you, you must be the reason X, Y, and Z, to them needing him at the very last moment in order to, clear their name and their reputation, and so that they wouldn't go to jail because they genuinely were innocent, right? So something like that could be happening here. And it's something that you do. It's like your niche. So the niche that nobody in that book had, he was really good at audios. He was really good at creating videos. He was really good at painting a story with his words and painting a story with his videos, okay? So what happened, which I love explaining this, so I'm gonna explain it. So what happened was, it came to the point they were holding a memorial for the principal, okay? And they're like, even though I'm saying principal, there's a zoom in on principles for me. There's something about principles. You know the principles, that's why you're chosen. Okay. Anywho, get to the memorial. Everybody's in the auditorium, right? Or, I'm sorry, gymnasium. And they're watching this huge memorial, right? And so they're watching the huge memorial from the person who created the content, which was the quote unquote nobody, right? So he painted this beautiful picture of how first the principal came in with the best of the best intentions, and then slowly over time, the more money that started to come in, the more corrupt and dark and dim this principal started to be, right? And so you see the road to hell, this person's hell, was paved with the right intentions. But the way he did it, the way he executed this video was done so beautifully that by the time the actual truth came out in the end about the assistant principal taking out the principal, nobody could deny that these men were innocent, and nobody could deny that this person, this quote unquote nobody, was not gifted and was not chosen, right? So there's something about that, Pal 3. Like, I understand the concept of the nobody, right? Because when you're somebody, you're zoned in. When you're somebody, you're targeted. When you're somebody, you're more likely to be suspected of said crime, right? Or said conditions, said outcome. But when you lay low, you do what it is you have to do, and it's still lucrative for you. It's better to live that way than just to be thrown into the spotlight, right? You control the level of fame, and you control how the world perceives certain aspects or different parts of the world. And so you doing this, you are able to see, I know what happened, right? In the process of this trade, in the process of this moment, in the process of this opportunity, I know how your company shifted from one point to this point. Now, if you let me come in, do this trade for you, it's private, right? It'll be a private consultation, but if you allow me to help you on your next steps, I can get you out of this predicament. And I see you doing that. I see you helping somebody get out of the predicament. But the weakness, the reason why the reason why it's coming up as, but it's the nobody who knows, like, you're going to come to a moment, or you're going to come to a realization that you're not just a nobody, right? Like, you're not just like a person that just does their day-to-day and they're just creating the life for themselves and a happy, prosperous life for others. Like, it's so much deeper than that, right? It's deeper than that. But even when you come to the truth of the realization of how deep it is, you can still handle it. You're still looking at it from the perspective of, I would rather go into this to help and regain a man's innocence than to let somebody just be thrown to the wolves, knowing that they're innocent, knowing that they didn't do the crime, right? So, and they've chosen you. All right, so I need to talk about something else. I was watching the audiobook of Neville Goddard, right? And in the beginning, they always say something about the Master Key Society, okay? And so they say, you know, this information may or may not pertain to the accuracy of like the Master Key Society, X, Y, and Z, right? And then I thought about it and I said, Master Key Society. And then when it looked at potential threats, right? It says they will be left behind. They couldn't see your worth. It's too late if they do now. You could have tried to warn somebody that, hey, if you try this approach, it's not going to be beneficial for you or your business or your company or your affiliates. You need to rearrange 1, 2, and 3. And by rearranging 1, 2, and 3, you got to do A, B, C. Who are you? Like, you know, you're just a quote unquote nobody, right? You're not just a nobody, pal 3. So somebody definitely overlooked you. And I compared it to a scenario like, it's like somebody looking at you, right? Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're a part of the Master Key Society, okay? And somebody looks at you and somebody says, oh, well, such and such, pal 3 is not ever going to reach past level 10. And I'm level 50, so not worth the investment. Nah, it's okay. You can take your business somewhere else. And they try to make you feel small about it, right? And so it's like you saying, oh, well, you know, you keep giving them the, hey, you know, I can help. Yeah, but you're level 10. I'm level 50, okay? So what happens is over time, because of who I believe this decision maker who comes to you and the something about Germany affiliations, Germany ties. Whoever comes to you with this, hey, can you help us, right? Can you? And it ends up being a lucrative investment, and it ends up being a solution, like this solution that you come up with. So now you go from level 10. You jump past level 50. And it's just like the same person that was a part of the Master Key Society that said, oh, you're always going to be level 10. It's like them coming up to you and them saying, oh, well, you're at the same level as me, huh? Now we can talk. And it's just like, not quite. See, I'm not the same level because I'm level infinite, right? But you don't even have to say that. You know why? Because your work is going to speak for itself. Who you get out of these binds and these pickles and these financial depths, they're going to speak. Like your words, your content, the way you teach, the way you help speaks for itself on who you are, right? And so you're going to be at such a high level that this person is not even going to have the equivalent of the privilege to brown nose you, okay? So let's see. They will be left behind. They couldn't see your worth. It's too late if they do now. Give me one more card for this. Okay, so the card that came out was the Ma'at card. Again, double judgment. Go get some rest for now. It's been a long time coming. Safe travels are forever ahead. Ceiling what? Capital ceiling what? Glass ceiling what? And this is like shattered, right? And so Padre. Yeah. Like there's a saying where it's just like no words need to be said because you showed up and you didn't have to show out. And so the phrase we used to say, Like back in when I was in Brooklyn, New York, we used to be on some, you did that. File 3, you did that. Close out the reading. Okay. In order to appreciate the land, understand its roots. Don't build yet. Something has to be dug up first. That's in reverse. Of course. So this is coming next to the in a world full of birds, right? Be the eagle, stay sharp, and listen. That's in reverse. I'm picking up somebody who, before the equation is even finished being written on any piece of paper, any board, they have the solution. It's like, I saw a clip. What would happen is these kids would look at a clip and these numbers would flash right before their eyes. I don't know what that's called, guys, but it was like plus 52, minus 60, plus 108, minus this, minus this, times this, minus that. And without even having to do long math, right? They had to figure it out. It was like, I don't know the technique that they use, but they do it in their mind. It's like mental math, right? But they do it so fast that by the time the numbers are over, they're writing it out. Okay, it's this answer. I'm picking up on somebody like that. It's like somebody comes to you, they can show you as many numbers as they want when it comes to their business. It's like you see the solution before the equation's even written out. So this is why I say, don't see yourself as a nobody. It's deeper than that, pile 3. Okay? So nothing has to be dug up. This was absolutely necessary. I feel like this moment, from the people suspecting, oh, it had to be you, to the people wanting to, like, brown nose, because I don't want to say the other part, because I don't want, but the people who had to, like, they want to kiss up to you now, it's kind of like, I'm okay, right? And you do it with such, like, humility and grace that it makes this person that was just like, oh, you're not worth the investment, feel even more like, dang, I really missed out. Like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. At top 3, you don't gotta boast. I'll do it. Yes, they did. They missed out. Okay, so one more card. Needle in a time stack. And for those of you who don't know, that movie, it talked about two people that were separated, two counterparts that were separated from in time because there was somebody at the top, a really wealthy person at the top that was their former friend that was manipulating the time because he wanted to get back to his ex, in which the ex was the wife of the person, the actual divine counterpart. So, okay, so I would check that out. I would watch that movie, Needle in a Time Stack. I remember seeing it on, if I'm not mistaken, Amazon Prime. And so this says a lot. Like, I feel like, even though my brother at the time disagreed, I said, I feel like this guy is going through the stages of his own mind, like the id, the ego, and the super ego, right? And by the time he goes through these phases, he gets completely separated from his divine counterpart. So he has to make his way back. I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but he has to make his way back to his divine counterpart, okay? And there's a moment in time where he forgets. And he submerges himself into this world that he created, or that was created for him, because the wealthy man shifted the time frequencies at the very top, that he forgets his original divine counterpart. Okay, so he's making his way back to her, but he forgets her and he gets submerged into this ideal lifestyle. Like, and it was completely the best. Like, this is what he put out for himself. Okay. And so he got everything. He got the house, he got the car, he got the dream life, right? But he knew, like, whoever this person was, he knew, like, his counterpart was, it wasn't originally her. And so she was just like, I'm just trying to get you back. We used to be happy, we used to dance, we used to, and then you just like, you started to fade away, right? And so he submerges himself into that life. And but he keeps getting like little tits and notes, right? Tidbits and notes. I don't know why I said tits and notes. I'm sorry, Valtteri. He keeps getting these small references that his divine counterpart is, there. And she is just like in the subtle moment. So, anywho, I don't want to spoil the story, but long story short, he takes the time to go back to the little hints and clues that his divine counterpart has left him. Okay? And so, in these hints and clues, he sees one image and he decides he's going to pay to shift back to a particular time, but not without getting all the details first, okay? So, not gonna spoil it because I feel like you need to watch it out there. But, so he goes back and he realizes that there was something, not only did he need to say to the person who was once his best friend, that was the super wealthy person in the former reality that kept shifting time, but he also needed to say something to himself, right? So there's a moment where before he leaves back into that timeline, because he only had a day to do it. So before he leaves back from that timeline, he says everything he has to say to the best friend. He writes a letter to himself and he tells himself, like, look, I know that it's like this now and this is happening and that's happening, but I'm telling you, just wait for her, right? And so he comes back into the reality. He no longer has this, like, what was considered the ideal desired reality anymore. I feel like I'm talking to somebody that shifts, right? Or that's heavily into shifting or like something. So he comes back into a less extravagant lifestyle, but he's not the same, right? He's not with the woman who was once there and a part of like the woman of his dreams and everything like that. That is now his friends, right? That's now his friend's wife. So it's a shift in reality. So it's just like, that's now his friend's wife, and his friend, and which is now his best friend, it remained his best friend because of what he told his best friend in the past when he went back in time. So his best friend said, hey, you gotta come to this party, right? And it's just like, it's my birthday, X, Y, and Z. And he's just like, I'm really not in the mood. And so he's just like, no, like, just one drink and then you can go back. Because his family started to worry about him. Because he wondered, he asked his sister, he said, was I always, this lonely? Like when he came back from rewriting the past, he asked his sister in that present day, he was like, was I always this lonely? And she was like, we're really worried about you. You should like come out and like hang out with us and X, Y, and Z. And then the best friend invited him. And then he goes to the party and he's just like, look, he's not in the best of moods, okay? So he goes to the party and his best friend is like, look, I remember when you told me that I didn't have to, take my father's company in order for me to be happy. Like, I remember you just telling me like those words. It's like, I didn't take my father's company, but hey, I'm happier now. And that's because of you, like, your guidance and what you told me. And so he's looking at who was once his divine counterpart with his now best friend, right? And so he's looking at them and he's just like, but he's not remembering them from the time frame of, hey, she was once my wife, right? He's just seeing them from the perspective of, oh yeah, we're there together, right? And so he makes his way to leave. I'm so sorry. I said I wasn't going to give it away, but I'm going to talk about it. So he makes his way to leave, right? And then as he's leaving, somebody bumps his shoulder, right? And they bump his shoulder to the point he turns back and he's agitated. And when he turns back, he finds his original divine counterpart. That movie is a tearjerker, guys. But anywho, I don't know how that's going to relate to you, Pile 3, but I would recommend that movie. Watch it. Okay. And that's your reading. Okay, this is the bonus read. I'm not even going to say it's Pile 4. Okay? So, bonus read. We have, you make the Grinches of the world want to be Care Bears. Okay. When this card comes out, guys, it's kind of like, I always wonder, who is this person? Okay. Next card is, if only you knew the level to which this person admires you. You have no idea. Third card is, what does the concept let there be light mean to you? And the last card is a complete and total ending to this magician. No gender exclusions. No one involved is safe. All right. I gotta watch Care Bears again. When somebody's in trouble or when something's in trouble, right? Don't they like point out shoot out the gems and the shapes and the hearts from their bellies and they're just like taking over evil or destroying evil? I gotta rewatch it. But yes, you make some really cold sharks want to be teddy bears. Okay? And this is in business, this is in love, this is in everything. So, and it's because you're appreciated for what you do. What does the concept let there be light to you? This is in regards to manifestation. Okay? And what does it mean? Like, to let there be light, right? Let there be, and it was. So, there's a difference. What does the concept of commanding mean to you? It's like when you are commanding the universe versus when you are asking the universe, hey universe, can you give me this today? I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. See how vague that is? What's today? Because your today is somebody's tomorrow. Okay? So, can you get to a point where you are more comfortable with the idea of command you me? Tell me exactly what it is that you want so that I can give it to you. Versus, I'm going to ask and I'll wait, right? This is all about manifestation. You're trying to manifest you're trying to manifest something, but the universe or the God in you is asking you to rephrase how you are asking for it. God didn't say, hey universe, can I have, God is the creator, right? Could you imagine the creator asking an outside version of himself, can you create this for me? Right? It's kind of weird. It's like, and God said to God, can you give me this? And then, no, when it started off, God said, let there be, right? So this is a matter of being assertive. So whoever this is for the bonus reading, being assertive. Okay, what do you want? Let there be then. Let there be, whatever, insert what it is that you need here. Let there be this. Let there be that. Because what happens? When we read the Bible and God said, let there be light, did it say, and then the universe had to concoct all the, no, he's the creator, guys. Let there be light, and it was. And so it was, right? That fast. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest can happen that fast. So, let's see. Can you clarify this, let there be light? Oop, alchemy card came out. Element of soul required, but that's inverted. That's neither yes nor no. Why is this inverted? Because you have to command it. And you have to command it with your whole heart and soul. Whole heart and soul. I don't have a nickname for you guys yet, but I'm getting there. Just give me a moment. I don't want to keep saying pile 1, pile 2. I'm going to come out with a nice nickname, but just, let there be, right? But the soul is required. You have to know with your whole heart and soul what it is that you want. And you have to do this with confidence in order to provide the results that you want. Let there be, and so it was, right? Could you imagine? And let's go outside of this whole manifestation in regards to you personally, on a personal level of decreeing and declaring. All right, you got to get open heart surgery. God forbid, right? But let's say you got to get open heart surgery. Who do you see? The heart surgeon. Right before you go into surgery, the heart surgeon is looking at you like, no confidence at all. Oh, well, it looks like there's a possibility for a positive outcome. You may not, you may not, you may not come out of this. I mean, it's a possibility, but don't worry, because I've been doing this for 20 years, but I think you're in good hands. You're going to want another surgeon. Get me somebody with more confidence, please, and more bedside. Like, what the heck is that? You're going to want somebody who knows. They come in, they know they got to do open heart surgery on you. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Complications may arise, but we're going to try to prevent that. See the difference, right? It's the way you're commanding, right? Command it with such certainty and such confidence that it has to arrive. The universe has to prove you right, right? Always manifest from that point. Now be careful, right? Take your time. Think about what it is that you want to manifest. But once you get confident in what exactly it is you want to manifest, always remember, universe, God, source, infinite intelligence, infinite, the God in you has to prove you right. All right, so you want this? I got to prove you right. You want that? I got to prove you right. Because who is the creator? Right? So, oh great, it's up right now. Okay, so element so required. Decree, declare, and demand how your day is going to go. God forbid, don't ever, like, when you wake up out of bed, right? I'm just gonna say honey for now, because honey is sweet. And I like honey, so I'm gonna go with honey. Honey, when you wake up out of bed, decide how that day is gonna go before you get out of bed. Or you're gonna have people, places, and circumstances that are gonna decide it for you. Why? Because you didn't decide with your whole heart, mind, and soul before you got out of bed. Let there be. And so it was. Okay? Now, what is it that you need to know? A complete and total ending to this magician. No gender exclusions, no one involved is safe. All right. So somebody was not expecting you. Look at that. The Ma'at card came out. You have passed. Gods are asking what you would like as a reward. Okay, so somebody was not expecting you to be so confident. In fact, they were alchemizing a lot of your confidence for their own use or gain, personal gain. Oh, you're not confident? Well, even though, you should know who you are, and I know who you are, I'm going to economize off of that. I'm going to monetize off of that. I'm going to take that confidence and I'm going to use it for me, for my business, for my endeavors, because you don't know what to do with it, right? So now you're saying, well, I know what to do with it. I know it's not yours. What are you doing? You're reclaiming your energy. You're calling your energy back. My confidence does not belong to you. You didn't put in the work for my confidence. Get your own, right? So declaring it. So now you put an end to the person who thought they can just take your energy, bind your energy, leech your energy. I got this person's money. I got this person's lifestyle. I got this person's destiny. No, they don't. Take it back. If they do, they're hanging on to it, release them, detach them, right? Let there be, you get out of bed or before you get out of bed, let there be a total, complete ending to this magician. No gender exclusions. No one involved is safe, right? Boom. Okay. Universe now has to do what? Prove you right. And you passed. That's what it was looking for. Universe was just like, yo, I need you to utilize That thing that's a part of you, you know, and if you need my backbone, yes, I need you to do just that. The universe is like, I need you to utilize your backbone for all the right reasons. I got you. I got to prove you right anyway, right? So let's close out. Theseus. Obstacle after obstacle. The only thing you can control is yourself. Of course. You think somebody that's been utilizing your energy, your confidence, your money, and monetizing off of it is going to just let go willy-nilly? Think they're going to say, oh, well, this person's got their confidence back, or, you know, let me just give it to them. No, it's going to come with some resistance. Oh, yeah? You think you could just take your confidence away? You think you can just take your energy away? You think you could just detach from me? Do you know who I am? Yeah, somebody who's not supposed to have my energy. Thank you. Right? So, no matter the level of resistance, what a person is trying to throw at you, right? Because they feel like, how dare you claim your energy back? How dare you take your power back? You got to know. Everything that you let be, everything that you illuminate will come to pass. Let the obstacles be removed. Let these magicians or people who want to alchemize or utilize your energy for all the wrong reasons, let them be removed permanently and prevented. Right? Saying that with confidence. Let the cords be cut away. Let the attachments be dissolved. Let the binding spells be broken. However you feel, because maybe you do feel like somebody's just trying to bind your energy. Somebody's just trying to tie you up and say, give me all that good stuff and you can keep this. You could have people, honey, you have no idea how real people believe in destiny swapping. They see you, they take a look at your life, they take a look at your light, they want it. They want to attach to it, they want everything that's yours, and they don't care what they got to do to get it. You have people, now mind you, this is let there be, right? In their minds, they strongly believe they can swipe your destiny for them. And you know what? In their world, their universe, that universe has to prove them right. But this is beautiful. It's beautiful as to why infinite intelligence is designed and laud in such a way where even if a person feels like they're getting away with something, they're really not. Right? So, in this person's mind, and that is really when if you want to look at it from a surface level, that's really all black magic is anyway. Black magic, witchcraft. It's a manipulation of the mental state of mind. If a person feels like they have you binded in their mind and you don't take control, you don't pull your energy, take your power back, you stay binded to that person because you allow what's going on in their mind to consume your day-to-day. Don't let that happen. Okay? So, and you don't because you've passed and now you're going to get rewarded. Do these rewards go to this person that tried to bind you, these magicians, these people who try these tactics and they swear your destiny belongs to them? No, your rewards don't go to them. They go to you. So whatever you have to decree and declare, let there be justice. Let there be a financial windfall of gain, reward, and recognition. Let there be that. Because guess what? You can say that with confidence. You know why? Because you put in the work. You did the job. That's your reading.